YouTube above average Cody here, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been seeing some bonehead plays out there in the new ranked play for Black Ops 6, and if that's you guys out there, that's okay. But today for you guys, I have all of my best beginner tips for ranked play here in Black Ops 6, guys. We're going to run through some basic tips just in general for the gameplay. Then we're going to run through each of the modes, hardpoint, control, search, and destroy. And I'm going to do my best to set you guys up for success out there in the new ranked play system. So hopefully you can eliminate some of those idiotic plays that are possibly costing your team to lose. And I've got a boatload of information to go over in this video, so let's jump right into it. Starting off here with the most important and probably easiest thing that's going to improve your gameplay, guys, and that is your weapons and your class setups. You have to be using meta weapons because I promise you the enemies are going to be using these builds and they absolutely fry, so you're going to want to set yourself up for success using these similar classes. The guns, there's a few good ones. I won't go over all of them in too much depth, but I'll show you guys what you should be looking for in your classes here. Now, you actually start with classes, and again, a lot of things are limited, so you guys can't really change too much, but the classes that are pre-set up for you, you get one assault rifle and one SMG. The perks are all set. You're going to be running Semtex in respawn modes and probably frags in any other mode, being search and destroy, which I'll talk about that more later, guys. Concussion or flash, it's basically preference, whether you want them blind or slower. Trophy system, so you can destroy any incoming projectiles. And then the Strider's the only pistol. Your knife so you can run faster, but the main weapon is going to be what we're going to be talking about here, guys. I love the Ames class, and here is the class. You want to steal these attachments. While it does kill a little bit slower than some of the other assault rifles, the thing is an absolute laser. It has like zero recoil. Some other assault rifles you can use, guys, the Krig, the XM4. I've been seeing the AK used a little bit, although not much by pros. And then for the SMG, the consensus is pretty much the Jackal. This is the class that I'm loving right now, but the C9's also viable. The SOG, again, a little bit bullet spongy, but just find the weapon that works for you. While I do recommend using a meta, look up Shotzzy, aBeZy, Pred, any of these CDL pros, or even some content creators out there, guys, they will have these classes. I promise you, everybody's running some configuration of these classes. Just make sure you're set up with a gun that works for you. If you like to stay back and shoot down range, you're going to want a laser beam like the Ames. If you like to run around and play really fast and try to get a lot of kills on the hard points and things like that, you're going to want to be using an SMG like the Jackal because you can move a lot faster and get a lot of kills with it. You have to find a weapon that works for you, but also try to use one of these powerhouse classes or builds, I should say, so that you can still compete with the likes of the enemies and what weapons they're running out there. Next up, guys, you have to have at least a decent understanding of how to use the movement and your aim in this game, and a lot of that I can help you with comes down to some certain settings you can check out, but it's going to come down to practice, guys. Slide and shoot at the same time. Practice drop shotting. Make sure you can aim and track the enemy good. All of that is going to come down to practice. But the side I can help you with, guys, focus on your sensitivity. Don't run something too high where you're over aiming and under aiming all the time, and just make sure you're on something that you're very comfortable with. Check out your dead zone inputs as well, guys. Make sure your minimum dead zones are very low. Put your left stick in the middle because this will make it so that you hit that max movement speed faster, and then put your right stick at max so you can get better variation and you can have a little bit more control of the stick. Turn off controller vibration, guys, because this just... it's not necessary. I understand some people want to feel immersed in the game, but you really want... you don't want anything screwing up your aim, guys. In movement, there's a lot of things that can help you. Tac sprint assist, guys. This makes it so you can hit that tac sprint and move around a little bit faster. Make sure the delay is on 0. Mantle assist, you're going to want that off. Corner slice, leave that on. That's where you can lean around the corner. Slide behavior, I leave it on tap to slide, and I put it on long so that I'm not accidentally diving out of the hard point or diving off the map or anything like that. Slide maintain sprint. You do not want mantle canceling your reload. Turn that off, guys. And then combat, a lot of this will be personal preference. But again, guys, those are the main settings that you're really going to want to focus that can instantly help out your gameplay. But as for actually aiming and getting the movement down, that's going to come down to practice, guys. Just get comfortable with the Omni movement and sliding around corners and things like that. And now diving into some actual gameplay aspect things, guys. The maps, the modes, the spawns. Figure out how to play control, Hardpoint, and Search and Destroy, which I'm going to give you guys tips on each of those on the back half of this video, but you have to understand how the modes work, and just make sure to play some in social before you jump right into ranked, which you actually have to play 50 multiplayer games, I believe, anyways, or something like that, before you can go into ranked, but just make sure you have a solid understanding of those 3 game modes specifically. Now, the maps. I'll put the maps on screen. You're going to want some seat time on these maps, guys. If you have never played Vault, or a better example is Red Card, there's a lot of weird spots on that map. Go into a custom game even. If you don't know how to do that, guys, go onto the filter mode screen, and down below you'll see private match. Set it up. You can just run around on the map solo, alone, and just kind of get a feel for everything and kind of where enemies may be. And then spawns. We'll talk about this mode specifically, guys, but you have to know where and when people are going to spawn based off of your teammates. If all of your teammates are on one corner of the map, chances are the enemy's spawning in the other corner of the map, and this is going to play a very big role in respawn modes. Use your equipment. You have a grenade, you have concussions or flashes, and you have a trophy system that destroys the enemy equipment coming at you. You have these items every time you spawn outside of the trophy system charging up. You have to use them. They can be absolutely crucial. They can lead to a lot more kills. They can lead to a lot of help to your teammates if you're stunning these enemies that are trying to run in to slow them down. Just be sure to use them, guys, because they can be game-changing, and a lot of people, including me, forget to use them sometimes. Now, this is a really big one I see too many people do, and that is challing when you are one-shot. Guys, if you are weak in this game, you are going to drop if somebody so much as sneezes in your direction. If you are one shot, you have to get your shields back, because you could spawn up on the complete other side of the map, and that leads to you just wasting a lot of time running back to the point. So if you are one shot, make sure you get your health back, especially if you're on the objective. If you are holding a hard point, if you are capping in control, you have to live up, lay prone, pick your favorite corner, and get your health back before you start shooting the enemy again. Now, I can't believe I even have to put a tip like this in this video, but play with your teammates, guys. If you're playing Control, Search and Destroy, push to a similar objective as them. If you're playing Hardpoint, work around your teammates. Try to play for spawns. Play the objective. Don't play for kills all the time, because there is so many people who think they're the LeBron James of the lobby and are just running off and getting kills, and they're putting up a good stat line, but they're not helping the team. They're not there to help the team win these gunfights. They're putting their teammates in bad spawns, and it's going to make the objective and winning some of these modes so much harder for you. So just try to work around your teammates, and if you're not calming with them, guys, try to at least move around them a little bit. And this brings me to my next tip: communication. If you're willing to plug your mic in and talk to the other team, do so. It helps out ever so much. There's also a pinging system. If there's an enemy coming in a direction or you tagged somebody, ping them up, call it out in your headset, or focus on a strategy or something. This goes a long way. I understand it's not super important in the early ranks because most players are going to be running off doing whatever they want anyways, but guys, it can make all the difference in a game of Search and Destroy if you just go in the mic and tell your teammates, hey, everybody run A, instead of everybody just running off in whatever direction they want. Now, the final general gameplay tip I have before we get into the mode-specific tips I have for you guys, that is to just keep playing. This rank system for many years has been SBMM matchmaking, and it's not ranked matchmaking, so although you're starting off at Bronze 1, you are not playing players that are hard stuck in Bronze 1. You're likely playing players that are at a similar skill level as you, that are going to cap off at the same rank as you, so you'll be playing similar level players throughout, and you'll get a lot of hard games, and you'll lose a lot, and then you'll get some easy games, and you'll win a lot, and it's kind of an up-down system, guys. It's not the best gameplay experience, but that's how it is. Just keep grinding it out, give it your 100%, and I promise you guys, the wins will come, and you will rank up as long as you keep taking these tips and focusing on your gameplay and just trying to improve. As for mode-specific tips, guys, we're going to start off with Hardpoint here because that's the gameplay I have in the background to start off for you guys. The most important things are the spawns, frying the other team, and I'm going to put this one up there, trophy systems. Obviously, you have to stay on the hill to get points. We all know how to play Hardpoint, but spawns are the most important part of the game mode. Not only do you want to spawn closer to the point, guys, but as a point starts to finish up, in the background gameplay here, you see P4 is starting to finish up. You can see, although there's still 5 to 10 seconds left on it, I'm doing everything I can to get to P5 and get to the next section. Not only does this get us the time on the next hill first, but it can also influence the spawn. So if any of my teammates die on the old hardpoint, they can spawn on the new one. I'm not saying everybody wants to leave every single point 10, 15, 20 seconds early, but feel free to jump in the comms and be like, hey, Joe Schmo, can you run this way and go to the next hill? And then they'll hear that. Maybe they'll go to the next hill. Sometimes you'll have to be the one that goes to the next hill, but this is huge. And anytime you are on a hill, guys, drop your trophy system. You will die to grenades. You will die to stuns, and you will not have a good time if you are not putting that trophy system down on the ground. And now, again, I think we all understand the mode, but I see this happen so much to players. If you have 2 enemies dead, 3 enemies dead, 4 enemies dead, just look at me. Get in the hill. Hop in the hill. I do not care if you are on a 15 kill streak. If you are the closest to hill and the enemy team is dead, you have to get in there and get some of that hill time. That's how you're going to win the game. Somebody has to get in the hill. I don't care who it is. And then finally, guys, just some really basic tips here. It shows you the next hill before it pops. So if you are on a map you don't fully understand, or maybe you haven't played Hardpoint on yet, you can see it shows maybe 5 to 10 seconds early where the next hill is going to be. So there's not an excuse saying, oh, I don't know where the next hill is, because it will show you. You just have to pay attention and look around. And most importantly, use these sound indicators. If the hill is red, you're going to hear a certain sound when the enemies are in the hill. If the hill is blue, you have teammates in the hill, and there will be a sound indicator for that. And if it's contested, it will be yellow. That means both teams are in the hill simultaneously, guys. You have to process all of this information at the same time. It should be affecting whether you're pushing the hill, waiting for teammates, putting your trophy down, or throwing grenades. Do not nade your teammates that are on the hill, sponging time for you. Search and Destroy is the next mode I want to go over, and again, we have some gameplay here in the background for you guys. There's 3 main things you always want to think about. Your life is precious. If you die, you've got a long wait until the next round, and you cannot help your team. Second, the first kill of the round is most of the time the most important one. You want that first blood because advantage is everything. And next up, guys, information is the most important part of the game, and this is where communication plays a big role. Now let's pick those 3 things apart. Again, you want to try to live up, guys. Yes, you want to rush out and get those kills, but if you are dying at the start of the round every single time, you are basically just dead weight, and you are putting your team in a massive disadvantage. The numbers advantage in Search and Destroy goes such a long way, whether you're going for kills, trying to plant the bomb, or trying to retake a bomb and hopefully defuse it before it blows up. Next up, guys, the first kill. Again, it goes with advantages, guys. If you can knock them down one early with a pick, a 4v3 round is much easier than a 4v4 round, and that's just basic math there. Next up, information. If you can see which bomb the enemy's running to, if you can see that there's one enemy wrapping through spawn, if there's an enemy hiding in a corner that's about to kill your entire team, all of this information can completely change a round or even a game. Even just knowing which way the enemy likes to push. If they push A-bomb three attacks in a row, they're probably going to push it the 4th time. That's not a guarantee. That's up to you guys how you play that situation. But this is all information that can completely change the game. And again, if you're going to turn your mic on, communicate this information to your team because they may not be as well versed in the game mode. Now, map knowledge is probably the most important thing that I want to reiterate to you guys. This goes with understanding the maps, learning where players are going to be, how players like to play the map, because there's generally a way players are always going to be maneuvering around the map, and the better you can learn these and anticipate them, the better you can be prepared for when you play against basically anybody on any of the maps. And in those late round nerve-wracking situations, if you have a teammate, be it a 2v2, a 2v3, even a 2v4, you need to stay with your teammate, because not only is there strength in numbers, team shooting, but even more important, guys, if one teammate dies, you can hopefully trade it out, because trades, again, are very important. You could save yourself from a 4v3 2v3 situation and turn it into a 3v3 situation. Now, guys, hoping you understand the basics of Search and Destroy with the bomb plants and the bomb diffuses and things like that. I might do an entire video for Search because it's been my favorite game mode for like 15 years, and I'm fortunate to be pretty knowledgeable on the game mode. But you don't always have to plant the bomb. You don't always have to rush and plant the bomb first. You don't have to play it very one-dimensional. It's very much a game of chess. Set yourself up on the map and kind of play around picks, play around advantages, and plant the bomb at times that really work for your team. Don't just put the bomb down, especially if your team's on the other side of the map. And most importantly with Search and Destroy, guys, if you're getting cooked, if you're struggling, you're not winning your gunfights, when in doubt, pick your favorite corner, pick your favorite angle. I always tell the boys when we're losing to pick your favorite corner because it's like running out and dying gets you absolutely nowhere in Search and Destroy. You have to get a pick, you have to get those advantages, and you have to catch them off guard. So don't be afraid to be cheeky. You know, you don't have to be running around hitting 360 freaking G slides and taking out the whole team. Pick a corner, stare at the bomb, watch a lane, just get information, get a kill if you can, but most importantly, live up. Diving into our final mode here is Control, guys. It's pretty straightforward. You have an A, you have a B, and each team has 30 lives. So although life is still very important in this game mode, it's not quite as important. You just don't want to be putting up 10 deaths every round because that is literally a third of your kills. The biggest thing to remember is most maps have an easier point to capture. Not necessarily easier in terms of you have an advantage on attack or defense, but it's usually closer to the attacker's spawn, so it's easier for teammates or enemies to just run out and stack that hill faster. And if you have 3 or 4 players, if you have more players on the hill, the progression is going to go faster, so that's why I say it's an easier hill. Sometimes it is better if you're a beginner to just get the easier hill first. It gets you an extra minute on the board, and it makes the round go longer. It could also be a strategy once you get a little bit better at the mode to go for the harder point, because if you can knock out that hard point first, you basically make it easier on yourself, leaving the easier hill to attack. And the opposite goes for defense, guys. You might want to defend the easier hill, or you might just want to let the hill go and defend the other one. It's really a game of decisions. Communication is also huge in Control because you want to be talking with your team so you know which hill you're moving to, which hill you should be defending, who needs help where, and everything of the sort. A big tip on defense, though, is if you're losing a hill, you don't want to throw any more lives at that hill. If it is practically gone and it's a lost cause and you are the only teammate up on the map, just leave it. Let the hill go. You have a whole nother hill to defend. While they get another minute, you might be able to get in a better setup. The sooner you can get to the hill that's still remaining with 3 spots left, the sooner you can get a setup, and hopefully the longer you're able to defend that hill. Now, guys, you definitely want to preserve your life, but don't be doing no corner sitting. Don't be wasting time. You still want to do like what I talked about in Search and Destroy and get the information, but you do have to push the pace a little bit. The spawns also don't flip in Control. Some players may spawn out depending on where you're standing, but you can set up what's called a spawn trap, where literally you just kill them right as they walk out in the spawn, and it is abysmal. So you do want to preserve your life, but you also want to be aggressive and try to push out and get some of those kills while you're doing that. And I have to say this again, guys, because I've been seeing some crazy stuff. The hills on Control do the same thing as the hills on Hardpoint. If there's a teammate in it, it's going to be blue. If there's an enemy in it, it's going to be red. If it's contested, it's going to be yellow, and you have sound indicators for all of these things. You also want to get in the hill and reset the ticks as they progress. The reason I'm saying this, guys, is if it is blue, don't waste your grenade, because you're going to kill a teammate. If it is white, that means there is nobody in the hill. Do not throw your grenade. I have been seeing this stuff in ranked play. Don't do it. That's why I'm doing this tips video, so hopefully my future teammates can see all this stuff and hopefully learn. And again, guys, team play is just as important in Control as it is in Hardpoint, as it is in Search and Destroy. And that's pretty much all of the main beginner tips I have for you. I could literally make an hour-long video giving you guys tips, spewing knowledge, and things like that. And I'm not even the best player here, guys. I'd say I'm pretty much in the middle of the pack. By no means am I going pro anytime soon, but everybody has to get these basic understandings to even start to improve at the game. And just jumping into the game, I'm seeing so many people that can fry and shoot really well, just making a lot of bonehead plays and not really understanding the objective, and that's kind of where the motivation for this video comes from. So I hope it helps out any of you beginners or maybe mid-tier players. Hopefully just think about the game on a bit more of a critical level so that you can not only fry but also play around the maps and the objectives a little bit more smart. So guys, please subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot of BO6 content. Halo's normally the main grind, but with BO6 actually being good and rank play being fun, and we almost have dark matter, there's a lot of that here. So hit that sub button, guys. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment. Share any other beginner tips you may have for anybody that may be down there in the comment section, especially if you're a more experienced COD player. And then finally, guys, channel memberships and super thanks. If you'd like support in that way, it helps me out ever so much as a content creator. But please don't feel like you have to. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this one helped you guys out. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next one, y'all.